Welcome to Happily Divorced with Karishma. Have you ever noticed yourself watering down your voice in order to be safe or acceptable? That was me posting vanilla content on LinkedIn, chasing opportunities while secretly dimming myself. In today's episode, I share the moment where I realized the fear of being seen was costing me more than I thought, and what I'm doing now to reclaim my authentic self. Let's begin. Hello, friends. I wanted to, in the spirit of vulnerability, share what's been happening and a really hard conversation I had with a friend about safety, about fears, and about courage to go all into your dreams. And I wanted to share these with you with the intention that my deep dive into my clarity will help support you within yours. I met a friend on Thursday last week, and we were doing a health coaching session. She's a new health coach, and she needs a lot of hours, hundreds of hours apparently, in order to get her certification. And she was looking for friends that are guinea pigs that are willing to be supported in their health journey, to which I raised my hand. And the context for me personally is the last 6 to 12 months, I've gained weight. I've gained about 10 pounds, which is really uncomfortable for me. I work out about 3 to 5 days a week consistently, really hard workouts. I don't eat gluten, I don't eat dairy. I'm really disciplined when it comes to my diet. And so this is what's happening. And it's been really frustrating because I've gone through Ayurvedic doctors. I've gone through using like extra fiber and then trying intermittent fasting and then not trying intermittent fasting, and having the like different sources tell me different things when it comes to diet and nutrition. And after all of it's said and done, I'm still at the same weight. So I was like, you know what? Let me connect with her. I have a deep respect for her. And so we get on this call, and the beauty of what her methodology was, helping people connect intuitively, where there's sort of this presupposition that you are the authority of your own life and you have the insight, the knowledge, the awareness in order to put pieces together and to move forward in your journey and identify what is the biggest challenge and identify what you want support with the most. So I get on this call and I was talking about my frustration around the weight gain. And it was really cool because she started out with this question of what is important to you. It is exactly what I do with my coaching when it comes to entrepreneurs. To which I responded, freedom, flexibility. It looks like freedom of expression. It looks like freedom to be me, authentically me. It looks like valuing deep relationships and connection over everything else. It means abundance and joy and prosperity. It means good health and energy to not just look good, feel good, but really have energy as well as be healthy, both things. And then she went dive into what does wellness mean to you, and then just connecting the dots between what I said with my values around all over life and wellness. So as we go deeper, and she asks me about the weight gain, and I was just sort of talking about kind of these external things. And again, what I tried, what I hadn't tried, what had worked and what had not worked, the journey that I've been on this last year. And then I said something to her, and I guess I was reflecting out loud about something our mentor told us, which is often there is a connection between inability to lose weight or inability to gain weight, no matter which direction you go, and related to safety. And I was just like, kind of like reflecting out loud, like, I wonder if that's true for me. And then as soon as I said it, I was like, holy shit, I think it is. And it was like this massive truth bomb had gone off in my head. I was sharing with her what transpired last week with those two opportunities that became Hell Knows, which I shared in last week's podcast. And I was talking about like how I've been putting myself out on LinkedIn more in effort to attract these opportunities to support my business or to bring in extra revenue. And as I was talking about that, I was just like, oh my God, I'm realizing that I'm holding myself back from being myself. And what that means is this podcast that I'm so proud of. A few weeks ago, I stopped posting about the podcast on LinkedIn. I was careful to guard what I was putting out on LinkedIn. Like, oh my God, I might be getting it connected to somebody with an opportunity. And what if they judge me? What if they judge my content? What if they judge me that I'm like advocating for divorce when that's not the intention of my podcast? What if they make conclusions about me? And because of this fear of rejection, I'm just kind of calling it what it is, I started holding myself back from being myself. And no wonder, and it's interesting, I truly believe our bodies are always expressing to us what's happening if we're willing to listen, if we're willing to do the deep inner work. And this is what I've taken my clients through their journeys, because again, health, wealth, relationships are connected. And where we show up in one area of life is where we show up everywhere else. And I was like, holy shit, I've been holding myself from being myself. I've been afraid of speaking my truth. I've been afraid of putting myself out there. I've been afraid of rejection. I've been dimming myself to try to fit into what's normal so I can be like hireable or like, worthy of working with someone. And instead of like putting out what makes me uniquely me in the way that I think, in the way that I see the world, and like owning my authentic voice, I started holding myself back from being myself. And especially on LinkedIn, which is where I spend more time these days in terms of social media platforms as a content creator. Interestingly enough, no coincidence, I'm sure, I've had this cough. I have a cough drop in my mouth right now. And it's been this annoying, lingering cough right around 4 weeks when I came back from my trip from Dubai, and it hasn't gone away. In the past, I've gone through coughs that have stayed there for a long, long time, weeks, months, where something happens. I have this epiphany, I have this realization, and I start sharing who I am. It's like I uncover this version of myself, and I step into the courage of owning that part and sharing that part and like being myself, truly expressing myself as me. So again, I've got throat stuff going on. I've got weight gain going on. Weight gain, again, like fear of being seen, fear of showing up as who we are. And again, I've supported tons of clients through this. I can see it in other people clear as day. It's really hard to see it within ourselves. So again, like, this past year, kind of in this exploration of where do I go from here? Do I do my own business? Do I support my partner's business? Do I do real estate? Do I do this? Do I do that? And kind of like exploring a lot of different things, along with, thank God, coming to this podcast. It's been a very confusing journey, a lot of transitions and a lot of like coming back to myself, realigning to self, advocating for myself over and over and over again. Again, I'm just drawing the correlation that as I've been kind of unclear in what I want to do, I've also been holding back myself from showing up in the world as who I am. I'm going to say that one more time. So I've been holding myself back from who I really am. And again, it's connected to some deep fear of like being seen. And it's when I put my posts out, which are posts like connected to this podcast, connected to lessons that I'm sharing, things that can be seen as highly controversial. When I put these posts out, I get attention. Sometimes I get positive attention from a friend that will say, oh my God, thank you for sharing this. I'm so proud of you for having courage to talk about these things. I wish more people did in our culture. And also, I've gotten a lot of negative pushback of like, what are you doing? What are you talking about? I don't believe you. So there's both of these things. And it's all about, and so I guess in the attempt to fit and belong, to be more hireable, all these things, I've held myself back from being myself. And instead of like owning my authentic voice and being okay with the transition, I've inevitably, I can see it now, been suppressing my authentic voice, my true expression, and been kind of being careful. What am I posting? And is it too provocative? And I didn't realize I was doing it. She just asked me the question, like, where have you not felt safe? In what ways do you not feel safe? And what does that mean? And as I was talking about like safety in my body, safety to be seen, safety of expression, safety to serve, safety to be myself, I was holding myself back from being myself fully and putting myself out there and taking a risk, having the courage to go all in on me and all the things that I've supported so many clients with. Like that, almost sometimes when you sometimes when things don't go your way, you almost get like this PTSD about it. And it prevents you from showing up in that same way because your brain goes, oh my God, like it hasn't worked in that same way. I haven't gotten the outcome that I wanted the same way. I'm going to tell myself I'm going to show up, but then I hold myself back. And you see this with people with weight loss goals and, repeat failed businesses. They put themselves back out there and then they hold themselves back and say, okay, because it didn't work last time in that way, it's not going to work this time. And I've spent some time thinking about and mulling over what I really want. What I really care about is helping transform people. What I really want to help people do is find that fulfillment, find that connection, find that joy, find a way to create that spark in their relationships where it's been lost to find that spark within themselves, to find out who they really are, because that's been lost, because life is too short and we only have one life. And our job is to go all into this one life that we have been gifted and to say yes to ourselves. And somewhere along the way, in this incredibly uncertain year on a lot of fronts, I stopped saying yes to me. So the reason I'm sharing this is to hold myself accountable, because now it's not just me talking, it's you listening. And I'm putting myself out there to take accountability on my actions, which is I need to help people. I need to come back to what makes Karishma Karishma. I need to advocate for my truth, advocate for my opinions, be comfortable in being myself, and stop holding back who I really am. And that was the whole premise of this podcast. And I'm so grateful in my life that I have immediate feedback. And it's so crazy because all of that happened last week with those two hell no's. And literally, I'm talking to my friend 24 hours later, sharing about what happened and realizing that as a result of trying to find safety outside of me, I stopped being safe to be the real me and all that I am. So if you're listening to this, follow me on LinkedIn. And I'm going to have fun. I'm going to play. I'm revamping everything and I'm working on it right now in the back end to show up as me, to start sharing my opinions, to start sharing this wisdom, these experiences that I've been gifted in serving all these clients, and to help people come back home to themselves. Thank you so much for listening. Grateful to be here.